Sarah Ferguson makes heartbreaking confession about the profound scars she was left with after her mother Susan left. Welcome back to Crown Chronicles, the royal channel where truth meets tradition, emotion meets legacy, and every story reveals a side of the monarchy the world rarely sees. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss another royal revelation. And today, you're going to want to stay with us until the very end, because what you're about to hear is one of the most deeply personal, emotional, and rarely spoken chapters in the life of Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. For decades, the public has known Sarah Ferguson as the vibrant, outspoken, mischievously humorous Duchess whose life has been marked by extraordinary highs and devastating lows. Her relationship with Prince Andrew, her controversial moments in the press, her resilience in the face of countless public storms, all of these have shaped her royal journey. But behind the headlines and behind the palace walls lies a wound far older, far more painful, and far more defining than anything the tabloids ever printed. It is a wound that began when she was just a young girl, a wound named abandonment, and a wound caused by the one woman she trusted most, her mother, Susan Barrantes. In a rare and heartbreaking confession, Sarah Ferguson has opened up about the profound scars left on her soul when her mother made the decision to leave the family when Sarah was only a teenager. It is a chapter of her life she rarely discusses, but when she does, the emotion behind her words reveals just how deeply that moment shaped the woman she would become. Imagine this: you are 13 years old. Your world is still fragile, still forming, still dependent on the warmth and guidance of a mother. And then, suddenly, that mother walks away, not because she had to, not because she was taken, but because she chose to start a new life thousands of miles away in Argentina with another man. That is the moment that shattered Sarah Ferguson's childhood, and it is a moment that, even now, decades later, she carries with her every single day. In her recent reflections, Sarah doesn't hold back. She describes the shock, the grief, and the confusion that consumed her young heart. She remembers watching her mother pack her belongings and board a plane, leaving behind not only her children but an entire life in England. It was a decision that would shape the Duchess of York's deepest insecurities, the sense of unworthiness, the fear of abandonment, and the desperate need to be accepted and loved. Many royal watchers say they finally understand why Sarah's life has been so marked by emotional turbulence. The outrageous tabloid years, the financial struggles, the relentless pursuit of approval, the hunger for affection, the mistakes, the reinventions, the resilience. All of it, in one way or another, can be traced back to that single traumatic moment when a mother's love suddenly vanished. Sarah herself admits that the abandonment left profound scars, scars she spent many years trying to hide behind humor, behind energy, behind the persona of the fun-loving Duchess who seemed unbreakable. But she was breakable. She was broken, even if she didn't show it. She says she felt like a little girl lost in the world, and that feeling stayed with her long into adulthood. She remembers longing for a mother who would choose her, she remembers questioning what she did wrong, she remembers carrying the weight of a silence that stretched across oceans. When Susan Barrantes eventually died in a tragic car accident in 1998. Sarah's emotions were tangled in grief, guilt, and unresolved pain. Her mother was gone forever, and the conversations they never had, the apologies, the explanations, the closure, died with her. Sarah has admitted that part of her has always wondered what her life might have been like if her mother had stayed. Would she have made different decisions? Would she have avoided certain scandals? Would she have felt more secure, more grounded, more loved? And remarkably, despite everything, Sarah speaks of her mother with compassion rather than bitterness. She acknowledges the pain, but she also acknowledges that her mother was a woman searching for her own freedom, happiness, and identity. This, perhaps, is the Duchess of York's greatest strength, her ability to embrace both the hurt and the humanity of others. But even today, the scars remain. Not the kind you see on the skin, the kind etched into the heart. Scars that reveal themselves in moments of vulnerability, in relationships, in decisions, in the lifelong journey of rebuilding self-worth. Sarah Ferguson has spent years working on emotional healing, turning her pain into purpose, and using her experiences to help others who feel abandoned, forgotten, or unloved. What makes this confession even more profound is how it casts new light on her life within the royal family. Many now believe that Sarah's deep need for acceptance may explain her rocky relationship with the institution. The mistakes that cost her public favor, and her uncanny ability to rise again, no matter how many times she has been knocked down. Every royal expert agrees, Fergie is a survivor. And her survival story begins with the most painful chapter of all, a child losing her mother's presence and spending the rest of her life trying to understand why. In her own words, Sarah says she has learned that healing is not about forgetting, it's about understanding. She has learned to forgive, to grow, and to accept that even the most painful scars can become sources of strength. Her journey is one of heartbreak, but it is also one of triumph. Her vulnerability transformed her into a woman who empathizes deeply, who listens closely, and who uses her voice to uplift others navigating their own emotional wounds, and perhaps that is why Sarah Ferguson continues to captivate the world. She is royal, but she is also profoundly human. Her story is not polished or perfect. It is messy, emotional, raw, and real. And that honesty is what makes her one of the most relatable figures to have ever married into the monarchy. If you found this story moving, make sure you subscribe to Crown Chronicles for more powerful, emotional, and eye-opening royal stories every day. Your support helps bring forward the remarkable human stories behind the world's most famous family. And trust me, there is so much more to uncover. Stay tuned. The Crown always has another secret to reveal.